In this video, I'm going to use the Tenhulzen Automotive jig to set the caster, camber, and toe on my Mercedes 300D. Now what I have here is two plates that came in the kit, and the bottom plate here on the ground is the one without the camber adjustment slot, and I have it about 8 inches away from my rim. And originally when the wheel was straight, it's reasonably parallel to the rim. So what I've done is I've set my stops so that I can hold the alignment jig up to the outermost portion of my rim. And when I look through this slot here, I will see this edge of the jig, or really any straight portion of the jig, just to verify that the angle that the wheel is turned is in line with the expectations of the alignment system. Now once I get that position set, I can go ahead and turn on my level, and I use a level here to make sure that I have the alignment jig perpendicular to the floor, and once we have it in position we can go ahead and zero out the angle here. So this will become our reference point for the camber setting. So the next step is to turn the wheel so that it's about 20 degrees or so out. And to accomplish that, all we need to do is turn the jig over, move the wheel so that the jig, again, the slot is in line with the straight portion of the bottom reference plate. So let's go ahead and get that wheel turned, and we'll come right back. Okay, so we have our wheel turned. So now if we look at the slot, the straight edge of the bottom plate shows, and it's centered within our alignment slot here. Now when I had removed this plate from my rim, I did not turn it off. It's important because we have our angle set. So now to test our camber, all we have to do is hold the fixture up against the wheel. And again, I use a level here just to make sure I'm right on. And then we can take our measurement. We are about 3.9. So the Mercedes specification here is 8 degrees, 15 minutes. So with the measurement we take off the wheel, we are supposed to double it. So we would be close to 8 degrees, a little less. Now there's a 30-minute leeway. So 30 minutes is about half a degree either way. So we are totally within spec. Now this didn't just happen. I've already adjusted camber on this. And the way I did that, I mean, you saw the procedure to set it up, but each time I would adjust it, I would actually fully articulate the steering system, and then I would turn off the jig, turn it back on, and go through the whole process over. I wanted to exercise the steering fully to make sure that I got an accurate reading. Now my initial reading on the camber setting was 5.8 degrees. My final reading was 3.9. So to get that reading to come down, I actually had to loosen this bolt here, and then I had to turn my end here, closing the gap. So I'm actually pulling this rod in to decrease that angle. So now that I'm at 3.8 and within spec, I can go ahead and tighten up my rod here, lock it in place, and we can move on to the camber settings. Now adjusting the camber on the wheel is actually very simple. The first step is to take your jig, and you want to, according to the instructions, set this up so that the gauge is facing in the same direction from the time you zero it to the time that you take your measurement. So if you zero it facing the front of the car, you want to also measure with it facing the front of the car. So I'm going to go ahead and zero this out. Now I'm going to tilt it up on its side, and I'm going to move my gauge. I'm going to grab my level again. right about there, and we are dead on. So we are 0 degrees camber. Okay, now the Mercedes specification is actually for camber, we want a value of 0 plus 10 degree or 10 minutes. 0 degrees, positive camber, 10 minutes. But there's a 20 degree leeway here. So we can go negative 20 degrees. So we are well within spec. The other side, we are at 0 as well. So my camber is dead on. So that's how you adjust camber with the Tenhulzen kit. And the only other thing that remains is our toe. Okay, so it's a new day here in the garage. Ran out of time adjusting the alignment last night. So this morning I wanted to rush out and do the toe. Now on the passenger side I hooked up this toe plate. You can see the standoffs are up against the outer edge of the rim. And the tape measures just clip in these grooves in the front and the back. Now I pulled on the tapes a little too hard a couple times and moved this plate. So I just put a storage bin and it's resting on that lower lip there so it doesn't move. So on the passenger side I have a little bit more room, so this is where I've been making my adjustments. Also when I disassembled the car, I only disassembled the passenger side tie rod end, not the driver side. So I made all the adjustments on this side. Okay, otherwise you'd probably want to adjust each side equally. Okay, so here we have the passenger side. Again, the standoffs are up against the rim. So let's take a measurement on the back. We can see we are about 15/16. Now if we come to the front, we are about 13/16. So we have 2/16. Let's look at our little spec here. On our spec, we are allowed 25 minutes plus or minus 10 minutes. So if we break out our little calculator, that is 0.41. So that angle is 0.41. So 0.41 is almost 3/16, but not quite. So we are right around an eighth. So we are well within spec. So a 10 minute, if we wanted to find the actual variation here, or the variance, we have 0.16, that's a 16th. So we are within spec. So adjusting the toe on the Mercedes, I'm not going to say it's fun without the slip plates, but of course all you do is you can turn this tie rod end down here. Hopefully I'm picking that up, reaching the phone under the car, and that will adjust the toe in and toe out. So there you have it. Thanks to the Tenhulzen kit, it was relatively easy to adjust the alignment on the 123. Couple negatives: I don't have the spreader bar for the Mercedes. I don't know what real world impact that will have. Frankly, I'm not too worried about it. The other thing is the slip plates to put under the wheels would have saved me some time. To try to get accurate readings, when I was close to finalizing on a setting, I went ahead and I articulated the steering completely and then remeasured. Having those slip plates would have probably saved me some time, but again, it's trivial. So you can align your 123 as well. Just get the kit, and you have nothing to lose but maybe a little rubber on the tires. Thanks for watching.